Are we all aware that everything happening in the world is staged? What is up, winning team? Hello, welcome back. And I have a lot to talk about today, but I wanted to start with this because I don't know about you guys, but like I have a lot to say in this video, okay? Because I really think we need to hold on. We really need to address the fact that everything is staged. And there's a reason why I'm bringing this up, guys. I'm not just saying this for the sake of it. I'm saying this because I actually genuinely believe that when we don't acknowledge this is why a lot of us are lacking in clarity. This is why we're all being very well and easily deceived, not just as humans, but also as believers. I'm finding it really hard all of a sudden to come on here and talk about things of God, because just everybody's talking about the things of God these days, and I just don't want to be pigeonholed into that group because I don't identify with most Christians. I don't identify with religion. I don't identify over there, because you guys know we're currently doing a series which we are coming back to. I'm not going to say which religion we're going to be talking about today in the other videos. But we're doing that series, all religion is evil. Anyways, guys, I think this is really important because I've started to realize why people lack in clarity from God, for themselves and for the world at large. And I do think it's because this is all one big performance. The devil is just this incredible creative director that is curating every single part of our lives, right? And it's influencing what we think. I always say this to you guys, that whoever controls what you think controls what you do. And as humans, whether we intentionally are doing it or not, right? I'm so grateful for them for this business thing I did, because the guy who taught it, he talked a lot about the subconscious mind. And at the beginning, and what he was saying is that, whether you're involved or not, your subconscious is always taking everything in and factoring in everything around you. So, that's why you have to protect all of your senses from this world. And this is what brings me to this grandiose performance, this grandiose play that we're all living in, right? So, and it's funny because sometimes when I'm by myself alone, especially if it's at night and there's nobody out anywhere, I really do feel like I'm on a movie set. I feel like I'm walking around on a movie set. So what I want you guys to think about, I want you to look at this from the perspective of being a creative director, right? Which was actually my dream job, which is kind of why I think I started to realize how fake and phony everything is. Because I've been getting just so sick of hearing anything. I don't care what the politicians are saying. I don't care what the scientific research is saying. I don't care what the freaking church is saying these days, other than obviously the real true believers of God. The Bible says my sheep hear my voice. So, of course, I absolutely care what those people are saying. I don't care what the entertainment industry is doing. I don't care, because it all just feels fake. It all feels fake and it all feels staged, right? And I'll give you guys a couple of examples of what I'm talking about. I don't think any of the relationships in Hollywood are real. I think every single detail of every little thing is done on purpose, because then the people obsess, right? So it's Taylor Swift was at Travis Kelce's game. You think it's just casual, what she's wearing, where she was, how she was behaving. I believe every single thing is planned, and I genuinely believe in Hollywood. They bring themselves together. I think sometimes at some of these awards shows and stuff, I genuinely think behind the scenes, they all sit together in a boardroom meeting like I would, right? Let's say if I was putting on a show, and you start to delegate to everybody exactly what they need to do, exactly how they're going to behave, right? In the same way, I think scientific research is highly biased, because I've been wondering a lot myself, we all hear about trust the research, but how many people do you know have actually been involved in this said scientific research? And anyway, it's actually quite hard to get reliable scientific research, because you have to have a large enough group of people involved to represent enough people for it to be valid, right? So the simple fact of a lot of research being done on 30 people, you know what I mean, in one particular place in one area somewhere, they're not going to be representative of everybody anyway. But of course, because as long as you say scientific research, is why the scientists, that's their role they play, right? As soon as you're a scientist, then everybody just thinks, oh, you're intelligent, so I'm just going to believe you because you look like, you sound like, you know what you're talking about. This happens with me all the time when people shift their entire demeanor once they discover that I studied chemistry. and maths, and that those are the two subjects I find the easiest, and or two things that I feel like I could do with I could do on every single drug hanging upside down off the Burj Khalifa, right, after having not slept or eaten, freezing cold, and I still think I could just easily do so much of this stuff, because it's like, it's not even work, it's not even hard, right? And so, people think, oh, look at you trustworthy. Like they did that with this whole pandemonium we went through, right? It was all trust the scientist, Dr. So-and-so. And again, it's all a performance. Immediately we trust them now, right? Somebody calls himself a pastor, a bishop, a pope, a priest, a deacon. Oh, they are the man of God, the trusted man of God. So I'm going to trust because they look the part. They play the part, right? Oh my gosh, like I remember when I went to Hillsong, you guys. Bravo to the mega churches, because they know how to put on a performance. I'm going to come to that in a second. I'm going to describe to you about why I wanted to be a creative director and what it is I love about it, because it's going to help to explain to you guys, because I've actually done it now. And so now I know the intentions, right? Because my whole thing was like, I want to go and I want to be responsible for everything. You guys know I like to put on a show. I like to create an experience. That's why I like to host. I like to have parties. I like to put on shows. I'd much rather be the one putting it all together than be performing. So that's why you guys will notice that I struggle with that now, because I'm like, I don't really want to be the one on stage. I want to be off stage, and I want to be choosing the lighting, the costumes, the set list, how it's going to be. Like I want to control everything, because I know what I'm trying to get people to feel and what people to think. And I've always wanted to express myself. I've told you guys I hate having to express myself with my voice in any capacity, which is why this whole framework doesn't work for me. Because it's like in my head, I'm seeing pictures, I'm feeling experiences, and I'm now trying to articulate this into words. I believe it's one of the reasons I struggle sometimes to keep on track of what I'm trying to say, because what's in my head isn't words. What's in my head is the experience, the ambiance, the vibe, the atmosphere, right? And so when you're doing anything, any type of hosting, any type of throwing a party, or even putting on a show, you're thinking of everything you want people to think and feel, right? What do they experience? What's the lighting like in the room, and how is that going to make people feel? The music, like, I've said to you guys, one of the things I hate about music these days is that the songs, they're just not storytelling anymore. Like I love a song that has like almost like acts, like a play, where it like starts somewhere and it doesn't rush through the whole thing, it kind of just has its different sections that build into something different, that build into something different, that build into something different. You know what I mean? A lot of music isn't like that, obviously, because the music business now is just like, we just need to get money. So we're just gonna this microwave TikTok scrolling age that we're all in. We just got to get something that's going to lock people in quickly, get them addicted, get us paid. That's all they're there for, right? So this goes back to so these are the things I think about, like all the tiny little details, right, of every little thing. Like if you're coming in, what can people see on the table? What can they eat? What are the flavors? Like when I'm cooking, I'm always thinking I'm not just thinking of cooking something that tastes good. It's like there has to be an experience element to it. You know what I mean? This is why, like I've been saying, I think I mentioned this the other day, it's why I love barbecue, because so many different flavors, different tastes. You have cold things, you have crunchy, you have hot, you have juicy, you have everything happening all together. You have the smell, you have the environment, maybe there's music, maybe there's games. Like it's an experience, right? Because it makes you feel a certain way. And we as humans, whether we realize it or not, are slaves to how we feel. And it's like I was saying to you guys about the Hebrew Israelites, and how so much of these religions, what they literally do is they get you to obsess, or they get you in your feelings, right? So that they can control you. So I was saying, like with the Hebrew Israelites, why do you think that they go to the extent of, we're going to make sure that we remind these black men about slavery and what was done to them and what happened to their ancestors? It's like violently punching you in a wound, right? To get an emotional reaction out of you, because now you're locked in, because your emotions are engaged, right? It's the same thing like growing up. I was never into the fairy tales of it all. I think this is partially where I get my temperament from about just a lot of things, because it all just seemed fake and phony and overly staged, like the whimsical damsel in distress who goes through whatever trial and tribulation just for some guy whose hair just looks too perfect for my liking, and just doesn't, it's just all overly, it was just so overly produced. it just wasn't giving for me. So I never grew up wanting to be a Disney princess. Anyway, I wasn't either the one that's like, I'm not going to be a Disney princess. I don't want to be Cinderella. I want to be Mulan. I wasn't like that either. I just saw it all as fake and just not realistic. Like, that's not real life. And I feel like so much of like our world is the world itself. The world we're all living in isn't the world we're actually living in. Because the more I've been thinking, I know that sounds like a strange statement to say. What I mean is, it's kind of like how narcissism works, right? And the devil, of course, is the original narcissist, right? Narcissistic people, what they do is, because they hate themselves, right? Because they hate themselves and they hate reality, they create a fake reality. And the reason why they have to use other people is because they need people to believe in said fake reality in order for that reality to exist. Because even if that fake reality isn't real, if everybody's acting like it's real, then it's like it's real. This is like what I've said to you guys. I've been on the other end of that, where I've been the one on the other side who knows the truth, right? And I'm seeing everybody believing in the lie. And it's like, because a whole bunch of people are believing in said lie, it's almost as if the truth doesn't matter, right? This is what I've said to you guys many times. I've thought about it, because it actually doesn't. Because what use is the truth if I'm the only one seeing it? Everybody else is living in this fake facade that's been perfectly curated. So the truth can be the truth, but if none of us, that's why I'm saying that the reality we believe in isn't the reality we're actually living in. So much of life is us all just believing in this fake concept, like the fake concept of love in this world, like the fake concept of so much in this world. We're just believing in it. And because we all believe in it, that's what makes it real. But in actual fact, it's not even real. It's just like, it's like I say, in society, we do this like thing where we all, as long as the majority agrees with it, then it's permissible, right? So if the majority of the world, right now, we're all agreeing that the sky is blue, right? But if, like right now in the middle of the day, but if we all decided as a society that the sky is purple, the sky is red, let's just go for the sky is green, okay? Let's use green. Let's say we all decided the sky was green as a society. If a majority of people decided that, that becomes the new reality. Do you understand what I'm trying to say here? I feel like when I'm airing my thoughts, I feel like it's actually pointless. Can I just say that? Because I know the world I live in. Thank God for you guys who I feel like actually hear me out. Because a lot of times people act like I'm trying to just like, you know, I don't know, be whatever for whatever reason and overthink everything. But actually, I'm like, I was thinking about, I was thinking about like, I'm going to try and find a good example of this. Like the art of deception, right? In the sense of, have you, I don't know if this has ever happened to you guys, but have you ever like been in a situation where doing something seemed like such a good idea and that's all the thing that you wanted to do. And then after the fact, you realize after you've actually done it, you're like, why the hell would I do that? I find that sometimes with food, you know what I mean? That's why I get really strict with myself about what I eat, because then when I look at how my skin starts to feel, how my body starts to feel, I'm like, this wasn't worth it. Like, you know what I mean? If I knew that what I was about to eat wasn't good, and actually that feeling alone outweighs. I kind of look like that with life, living and death, as in like so much of what we do as humans is we're just enjoying this curated experience here. And we're living in this facade that us just living the way the world lives is worth it, and us just believing in this fake reality is worth it. But then once we actually die and have to face up to the other side and eternity, so much of the things that we thought were worth it now are just not going to seem like they were at all. They're not going to seem like it. So to give you guys an example of what I'm saying about this curated experience, I'm going to use the church here as an example, like in Hillsong, because shout out to them, right? My musical director at my company, how did I even find this guy? I think I found him on Instagram. Anyway, he used to work in that band, right? But by the time I got to know him, this is after I'd actually left Hillsong. And in their services, I actually really enjoyed watching the service. And somebody did a whole video about this, which I'm going to talk about in a second, about how curated it is and how so much of what churches do is actually part of a lot of rituals, like what do you call it? I'm thinking of a word. I'm not sure it's the right one, so I'm not going to use that word. But a lot of this like new agey beliefs, you know, all of this stuff, the yogas of it all, you know, like the gong, which is like, you know, anyway, we won't get into that right now. But basically, a lot of these specific things, like especially how a lot of worship music like starts and gospel music, where it'll have like one note that plays. It's something that they do with a lot of these people who worship other gods to kind of like set the atmosphere, set the tone, to invite the spirits. Yeah, this is a whole nother thing we'll talk about another day. But anyways, the point being, they were right. They were saying that so much of the services, a lot of these church services, they create this experience for you. So it's like, you feel like you're feeling the Holy Spirit, but like, is it the Holy Spirit or is it just a whole bunch of emotions? And I would see it. You come in and it was like, it was incredible. I have to say, from a creative aspect, loved. As an experience where people need to meet with God, I think we're better off stripping everything back. So the only thing causing anything is the Holy Spirit and not like the gimmicks of it all, right? Because you come in, they would have this song that would play, and it's a secular song. I can't remember what song it is. And they would play, and then literally as the song gets towards the end, right, the band, the Hillsong band, like would start playing one like instrument at a time. So it'd start with the drums would join in with the song, and then you'd have the full band like joining in, and then just as they've just like all joined in and fully started, then the song would end, and then they would be like, good morning, and, you know, welcome to here. And it was just so well produced. Like, when I tell you it was so well produced, I would even get to church early sometimes just because I could watch it, and you just see it all come together. And I mean, because of my musical director used to work there, well, was on the band. He's like a well-known DJ now, which shout outs to him, probably not a Christian, and no judgment there, because you know what, where was he? And bless his heart, he was quite young and he was quite easy to take advantage of, and I'm sure he saw a lot of things, because we all saw a lot of things. Anyways, and sorry guys, I couldn't even see you because of the sunlight. I can't even see properly, like, this is crazy. Anyway, yeah, so like he would tell me about how they would like plan how they would rehearse, right? And again, we're in the house of God. We're supposed to be letting the Spirit lead us, but it's like you've orchestrated this whole thing from the strobe lighting, the way the songs build up, the imagery, because they'd have these like geometric shapes like on the thing. And this is why I mentioned this whole worshipping other gods thing, because they were talking about how a lot of these imageries, it's almost like what's used to like get people to be like hallucinating and stuff like that. It's like it's creating this feeling, and then at the perfect moment, the smoke machine is my favorite, by the way. The smoke machine, I need to buy myself a smoke machine just to have it in my wheelhouse, the same way that I have to have beakers and conical flasks and pipettes and measuring cylinders. I have all those things you guys have seen, because I'm a scientist who knows when I'm going to need it. I'm a creative who knows when I'm going to need a smoke machine. So anyway, you know, and it's all just like, and then it's true. It's like, are you actually, and this is one of those things I've actually thought about a lot. In church, a lot of times it's like, are we actually feeling the Holy Spirit, or are we just being put in an environment that creates us to get into our feelings? Because that's, again, where I think the entertainment industry is so powerful, because that's exactly what it capitalizes off of. It capitalizes off of showing you something that makes you feel something, that makes you think something, or you relate, or you love how this character portrayed this. And so much of like our lives and just everything, I feel like, is the enemy literally using these things to place things into our minds, right? That, like, I always use the burger example of like, if you weren't thinking about having a burger, right, at all right now, but then you see one like in an advert. This is exactly how advertising works. Let's not pretend. Being advertised and it looks nice, you know, like all of that. Then you're like, oh, do you know what? I would actually love a burger today. I'm going to have to grab one of those after work. That's how that works. That's how everything around us is working and is controlling what we do. And the reason why I mention this is because I'm realizing that so much of our trust and dependence on the world is because we're like, literally the devil is creative directing everything to sway the jury of the sheeple. Like I said, we've become a world that's so based on evidence, right? When it comes to things like Diddy, Epstein, where's the evidence? Where's the evidence? Sorry about the lighting, guys, but I'm not changing it for now, because until the next video. Where's the evidence, right? But even though, if you think about it logically, right, what person, after they've been through an extreme situation, goes, oh my gosh, I've just been through this traumatic event. Let me swab my entire bodies, go straight to the police and recount everything that just happened. We literally know that people can go through shock, denial. You might not be able to speak up. You might speak up. And like one of the girls who free from Epstein, Lisa Phillips, talks about this, how she never spoke up about what happened. She never really told anybody about the stuff with Epstein. She was married. The day she decided she wanted to speak up, as more women were speaking up and she kind of wanted to support the movement, she goes to her husband as if to be like, hey, like, can I tell you about, I'm ready to talk about this thing that I've been through. And he was like, no, I don't want to hear about it. They're divorced now. So again, people act like there's just this lovely, like, think logically, guys. Think of your own life. Think of your own life. So why do we think, that there's always just going to be all this proof? But again, the justice system, it's another part of this play that the devil is putting on. Oh, we trust in them because we trust the judges, because of course the judges, they're going to be completely free. A human being, right, without Christ, right? Because again, for me, Christ, a lot about having God in your life is about accountability. Hold on one second. Oh, that's so much better. So much about Christ and our reasoning for having God. Like, this is why I don't trust people that don't have God in their lives. Because I'm like, what reason do you actually have to do the right thing? Because with God, right, I know that even if I can convince everybody in the world, I can put on the greatest performance, right? I could do all the, what do they call them? What are they called? Are they called fake tears? Is it crocodile tears? I can't remember. Even if I could put on the performance of a lifetime, God knows the truth. So my accountability is outside of humans. It doesn't, that's why it works well in two ways. It works, A, keeps me, on the straight and narrow because, hey, God's like, you might have fooled everybody, but you ain't fooling me, right? For one. And for two, when I am facing up to the world that is all believing in these fake facades of the devil and his kingdom, I know that God knows the truth and knows where I'm actually coming from. I don't want to say knows my heart because people really like to weaponize that. And I really don't want to be one of those who's weaponizing it. I really do mean, like, it's nice that when other people are not satisfied because I don't have proof of this, or I didn't perfectly do that or perfectly recount the story. Like, so much of the justice system actually works against real victims. Have you ever thought about that? Because I was thinking about this when I was talking to the police, right? And the lady was talking about, we've gone an investigation. This will take about 2.5 years. One of the things I was thinking, I don't think it's worth it, because if you start asking me questions about events that took place years ago, right? And on the first time you ask me and I say, oh, so what happened? Well, the time it was about 6:15, when such and such and such and such happens. And then the second time you ask me, I say, it was about 6:45. Then the other people are going to be like, well, the first time you said it was 6:15 and now you're saying it's 6:45. She's a liar. Sue her for defamation. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there's no justice there. Like, there's so much working against you. Like, maybe it probably was more like 6:35 or something, or 6:30. Who knows? Who remembers all these things in detail? But then, like, and you see what I'm saying? And the justice system anyways is always going to favor the people with the most money, because again, the people with the most money can pay for the best lawyers. The best lawyers are going to want to do the best job because they're going to want to make more money themselves. Because again, where is anybody's accountability? So that's why I don't trust the justice system or the judges or whatever, because what gives them, like, maybe in a small court, in a small little thing, like my little things I've been through, but on the big wide scale. But then that's what people will do. And again, why? Because a lot of people are defending folks. Like, when I see people in the body of Christ doing things, and I speak up about the people, like, you don't know, like when I was talking about TD Jakes. I've been following TD Jakes for 30 years. He's makes such powerful words. I'm like, you sound like freaking deceived people, because everything you're saying is about how you feel. I was blessed by him because he made me feel, because he made me this, he this. Now, the idea that he could be a fallible human is not going to happen. Perfect. That's what I'm saying. All the devil has to do is use people, put on the greatest performance of all time, and everybody's going to fall for it hook, line, and sinker. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to do. And this is why, again, the devil himself was charismatic, intelligent, talented, you name it. Things that people automatically trust and like others for, just because. So it's like all you have to do is perform. That's all you have to do. All you have to do is perform in this world and put on a show and put on an act. And you can sway the jury of the freaking sheeple. Right? And this is what we're seeing in the world everywhere you turn. The scientists with their vocabulary. I remember I used to have one of my lecturers, right? He used to always, like, I always use him as an example because he used to make me laugh, because he would like describe, he would be teaching, lovely guy, by the way, really sweet man. But he was one of those who just used really overly advanced vocabulary for no good reason. Because I think as a teacher, it's not my job to make somebody feel lower than me because I know more than them. It's my job to break down whatever I'm trying to explain to them so they understand it. So actually the exact opposite of what I want to do is be using some advanced vocabulary, because they're not going to understand it. The only thing I gain from that is I get to feel better by looking at how you're struggling. That's why I don't come on here and talk all eloquently and positive and use all this stuff that I could do. I could switch it on if I need to. And again, because you just put on a performance. Why do you think I did so well with my research project? I knew what performance I had to put on because I've been watching it for the past 3 years from all the different people around me, the scientists. I knew the lingo, I knew the characteristics and all of this. I knew how to do it. I knew how to pull it off. It was just a performance. It was just a character. I've said this to you guys all the time. Everything I've ever done, a lot of people think I'm super confident. I'm not. I'm actually not. I just know how to play a character. Like I said that to you guys. Everything I've ever done in life, except from probably this, in order to get it, I just put myself in the mind frame of like, if I was this person, what character do I need to be? How do I need to be convincing to achieve the goal that I'm trying to set out? You know, I remember once when I wanted to go to this venue, I wanted to use this venue for one of my shows, and people were like, you're never going to get that venue. That venue's so hard to get. This guy, he's really tough or whatever. I was like, oh, he's really tough? Got it. I'm going to put on the performance of a lifetime. I'm not just going to go in there with a meeting and a half done plan. I'm going to walk in here like an expert. So I came in, I got an assistant, right? She wasn't even an assistant. She just happened to be studying business something. And she was part of what I was doing. So she was like, hey, I would love to help out because this will help me with my studies. This is the type of stuff that we talk about. And I was like, great. So I'm going to have her in as my assistant. I'm going to have handouts, right? And it's all going to be choreographed. This is exactly what I said in my head. I've got no experience in doing this. I'm just throwing myself in there. I just play the character. I just play the role. And then people fall for it, hook, line, and sinker. So I came in, I had a PowerPoint. I'm going to have a PowerPoint presentation. I'm going to dot every single I, cross every single T. I'm going to come in dressed smart. She's going to be dressed smart. And then she's going to know exactly what slide she's going to go out. She's going to hand out the handouts, right? Like this is some big thing. Meanwhile, I'm just like 19 with no experience, no qualification, nothing to be here. And lo and behold, we've done the damn freaking thing. You best believe. We've done the damn thing. They were like, yeah. And people could not believe it. They were like, how the hell did you pull that off? People have tried before. I was like, yeah, because I just realized that I just have to play the character. And because us as humans are so easy to deceive, it's just all I have to do. And I wasn't being deceitful because I actually did do a good thing and we had a great relationship and people didn't get it. They were like, how do you have a great relationship with him? He's so difficult to deal with. He's so strict. He is very much a stickler. But I'm like, hey, whatever it takes, whatever it needs to do, I had to make my own waivers and all this stuff. Waiver for some of the performers, you know, that were going to be there. I had to make all these contracts I had to write myself, right? Rather than looking overwhelmed and like when he's telling me, rather than looking overwhelmed, like, oh my gosh, this is so hard. I've never done this before. I was like, okay, that would be absolutely fine. Not a problem. And was there a date when you need all of these invites? I'm saying all of this. Do I even know how to do it? No, I'm not. But I'm talking confidently. I'm reassuring them that it's absolutely not a problem. I'm going to get it done. I have no idea how yet, but I'm going to figure it out because that's what a winner does. But, you know, and that's how it did. Like so many times in my life, guys, this is why I'm saying it. So many times in my life, you just put on the performance that people want to see and you got him. You got him. You put on the performance. I did this in an interview recently, right? Oh my gosh, I put this in the interview recently, right? I had an interview and they were asking me the questions and like what I was saying, I don't even technically agree with, but I knew what they wanted to hear and I did the spiel again, right? It was this job. These people wanted to hire me for this teaching job, which honestly, I just didn't end up following through with them because I just wasn't interested because I'm not bothered with this teaching thing anymore, as you guys know. But yeah, in the interview, I knew exactly what to say. And the guy was like, right. Everything you said is actually everything we want to hear. I don't even need to ask you any of some of my questions because you've answered so much and I've got so much to write down here. I mean, I should have to double check this with so-and-so and so-and-so, but I'm not going to lie to you. I'm just going to put you forward. I'm just going to sign you up right now. I'm just going to put you on the system immediately. You'll receive an email by the end of the day with your email. And I was like, yeah, I've done the damn thing because it's so easy. It's so easy to put on the performance of a lifetime that people want to see. It's so easy to sway people just on that without any credibility, without any credentials, and without anybody actually stopping to check if what is being done, what is being said is actually true. That's what I'm trying to say. Without anybody, because nobody checks those things. Nobody checks, does their due diligence. That's why I'm like, people will question God. Oh, what about this? What about this? What about, you didn't talk about the Dead Sea Scrolls. Well, the Bible's been translated so many times, so how do we even know this? You overly critique God, right? This is why me and God, we get along really well, because we go through the same things. So I'm like, if I've dealt with this in my small life, in my small ways, like literally minuscule in comparison to the gargantuan level he has for thousands of years, right? I have so much empathy for God, to be honest, for that, right? Because people do all this critiquing over here, right? But then you go and you just trust the science. You just trust the science. You just trust the doctors. You just trust the food in the supermarket. You just trust these politicians. That's not what's been upset and irritate me. Like, why do we even care to vote? And why have we not just said, let's just delete the whole older generation of politicians and start again? Because I've been told since I was a kid that politicians are liars. So why do people then get into all these political debates? I used to hate hearing this, like as a kid, wherever I would be, in the community, in the church, in wherever. When there's adults talking about, and then so-and-so, yeah, you know, his policies. It's like, you guys know they're liars. You're still going to all this. You're still, you know, bashing gums, talking about them, knowing that they're liars, putting all this thought and everything into them and voting and whatnot and what have you, right? For what? And for what? When you know that these people are fakes and phonies, you know that these people are not trustworthy. You've been saying it. So then when I get to my adult age and I'm like, this is all fake and phony. I'm like, this is what you people told me. So why are you guys acting the opposite way? I don't really get it. So anyways, guys, I'm going to like kind of leave that there because I feel like I've given you enough to show you, like, even in the entertainment industry, all these things that they do, these galas, it's all to like get us interested and invested, right? Because then we see, oh my gosh, Kylie Jenner was on the red carpet wearing such and such. Oh my goodness, Pamela Anderson looks so good without makeup, and she's just such an example of natural beauty and just loving your body as you grow and become old as a woman. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, like, it's so funny how much people talk and care about everything happening around us. I'm like, look at your life. Look at the state of your life. Look at the state of your life. Look at the state of what you're doing. You're getting caught up in all of this. And the only person losing out is you, because you're using your 24 hours just taking in everything. Like, this is what I noticed from when I was spent time. And this is why I said it's dangerous, because it removes your clarity. Because this happens to me a lot, where I will have my own opinion, right? And I'll see things in a certain way. And then as soon as I hear the world's opinion, like, this is why I don't like to be around people. I want people to cloud my thoughts, cloud my judgment, cloud my discernment. When I was off with the Lord alone, I wasn't watching anything. I threw away my SIM card, deleted all my social medias, and not deactivated, deleted. The only thing I was doing was YouTube. The only notifications I would get on my phone at that time, and boy, do I miss it, was from YouTube Studios, which means it's either something to do with one of my videos. So like one of you guys commented or something. Missed those days. Wasn't watching anything on TV, wasn't listening to any music, wasn't even watching a lot of YouTubers. I was locked in with the Lord. And when I tell you guys the degrees of clarity I had without all this extra just noise that was pulling me because of my flesh, because of my feelings, it was amazing. And it was crazy because I would still be hearing from God about what was relevant and what was true about what was going on. I was praying about things. I didn't even know what was happening in the world. I was disconnected, and I'd be praying about things, and then I'd make videos, and my videos would be in alignment with things I hadn't even seen in the world, which is how a lot of you guys actually ended up here, which is crazy to think about. Those days, I had such strong clarity. I had such strong, and now that I'm back in the world, I feel like I'm constantly battling contamination. Because again, already, God is not an author of confusion, but the devil absolutely is. Because guess what? You know what? The devil doesn't have to tell you the other thing. He doesn't have to completely get you to change your mind to a different thing. All he has to do is get you to question what God said. Because that's what he did with Eve. Did God really say? All he had to do was get her to question it. And that's what all these things around us are doing in the world, is making us question. Like, is that really the truth though? That thing that I knew before, is that really the truth? And this is why I love working with children, because they're at the least contaminated level, where everything is very black and white for them, because they haven't been contaminated. So much of growing up and becoming an adult and maturing according to the world is basically just going along with the societal norms. Is following things just because it's tradition. Following things because it's how we did it. Following things because everybody's doing it. And I hate it. Because a lot of it is all as a result of this incredible performance that the devil has put on. And I can tell you guys, as somebody that knows in life, yeah, this is why I say to you guys, I could always have anything I ever wanted in this world. And that's why the world and having things of the world doesn't doesn't interest me, because I know all I have to do is play the game. All I have to do is play the character. All I have to do is disappear for a year, change my appearance, just do a bit of studying, and show up as the person that someone would expect in whatever that I want from this world. It's all I have to do. I don't have to have a qualification. I don't have to have experience. I don't have to have knowledge. None of that. I just have to look the part, play the character, and it's mine. Like, that's why I say to you guys, like, it's honestly kind of boring because it's just way too easy. And the fact that it's so easy is what horrifies me and what makes me concerned for everybody, because there's just all these things pulling us left and right. And that's why the Bible tells us to fix our eyes on Christ. Like, fix your eyes on him, like fix them there, because you don't look left, don't look right, don't look at what's happening around you. Focus exactly ahead of where you're going. Like, focus there, because if you look there, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, why is that happening? Oh my, you don't need to know. You don't even need to know. I used to think I'd be better off being aware of things around me or aware of the world. Guys, do you know how disconnected? I don't watch the news. I don't watch nothing. I don't watch nothing happening for the most part, right? The only thing is I do dip in and out of is certain topics I feel like I want to talk about, or for some reason, you know, the Lord has his ways of getting information to me when I'm not paying attention to the world, you know, and there's always an actual purpose for what he's asking me to do, right? Otherwise, I don't pay attention, because guess what? It's irrelevant, because it's all fake anyway. There's no point in me watching the news, because guess what? It's all fake anyway. It's all staged. When you see these politicians, or President so-and-so went to so-and-so Saudi Arabia and was shaking hands with Sultan, so it's like, who cares, really? It's all freaking staged. And we, the people, because the power's with us, that's why they're doing it, because we have the power. We have we're the ones who engage with our attention. We're the ones who engage with our money. We're the ones who put people into power. We're the ones, like I always say, like the easiest way for us to actually stop so much of the stuff going on is to just stop paying attention. Guess what? If we want to see Hollywood go down, right, and we were so sick of all this, do you know what we should do? Turn it off. Turn it off. Just turn it off and don't look. Don't look. Like, don't look, don't watch, don't engage, because us talking about it is drawing more attention to it, which they want. And these days, all over the world, the devil's actually boldly happy at this point to be known and to be associated with the negative things, because again, the Jew of the sheep who likes to be angry, it's an emotional thing. When I come on here and I say stuff, notice my most recent videos, the most popular ones are the ones where I came at a particular group of people, whether it was the Hebrew Israelites, or I was talking about Candace Owens, or I was talking about whatever. That's when I'm getting engagement. That's why everybody wants, because they're in their feelings. They need to defend their whatever. If I'm on here like, guys, 10 steps on how to win in 2026, right? No one gives a crap. No one gives a crap. No one gives a crap, because they're not being engaged in their emotions. That's a better, more important video, if anything. When you have to come in your feelings, because everybody's so full of feelings, like the adults are so full of feelings, like literally like with kids, like the number of times I want to say to a grown adult, like, oh, we're having big feelings. We're having big feelings. Do you need to go and take a few minutes to yourself? Do we need to cool off? Oh my gosh, I can't believe I have to be here. If God paid me all the money in the world that ever existed, it would not be enough to make existing in this stupid society worth it. It wouldn't be. I can tell you, because it's so brain dead around here. Like, we truly are the Walking Dead, y'all. Anyways, guys, I've got so many more videos to come. I hope you've enjoyed this one. Needed to get that off my chest before I get into some of the other topics for today. Because if life's a game, it's played to win. God bless you all. God loves you. I love you. And I'll see you in my next one.